Okay, so I'm going to attempt to show you magic loop. And so what magic loop is you have a cable needle, which is needles that are joined with this cable. This is a permanently fixed cable needle. You can also get interchangeables that, like somewhere up here, it has a little screw thing and you can screw it off and change which size needles, which is very convenient and very lovely. But anyway, so it has a really long loop because what you're going to do is you're going to be knitting your stitches kind of side by side on these two needles. I cast on a few stitches. I knit the half of the stitches. And then what you do is you pull one needle out and you have this long loop. Oh, jeez Louise. Okay. Doing this loopy thing. And then you knit the other side. So you've already knit this side, so then you knit this side of stitches. And the stitches that you already knit are just hanging out on the cable as you knit this other side of the stitches. And then when you get to the end, you have to join them somehow. And my little cutesy join that I do is not going to work. So, yeah, I guess what you can do is just start knitting, but you have to pull the loop so that it pulls the needle back onto the stitches back on. And then you pull this one out. Oops, make sure they're not twisted. So you get a Mobius. And then you just start knitting the next side. And that act of, just grabbing your yarn from this side to this side joins your knitting in the round, if that makes sense. I don't know if you can really see that, but now it's a circle. See how it's a circle? So this is what people use for knitting a sleeve, or, people use this for knitting socks, any kind of or knitting hats. You could do anything, really. I mean, I wouldn't do this for the entire body of a sweater because you'd have 400 stitches and whew, that's way too many stitches to manage. So, but yeah, so smaller circumference things. So I'm done with this. So now I've got to pull this cable here and put these stitches on, and then you pull this one out and you've got this long cable being a pain in the butt. And then you knit on this side. So you're knitting in a circle, but you're knitting each side of the circle in its turn, if that makes any sense. And all the while, and so you need this really long cable pooching out on the sides like that, so that when you get to the end of each side of your circle, you have, I get that really tight into the back there. So when you get to the end of your circle, you have enough room. You pull this. Jeez, these are kind of tight, these little things. You have enough room to pull this out, and start knitting again. If you don't have enough cable, if this cable were only this long, it would be really hard to start knitting because you don't have enough, you got to have a long enough cable. So that's why you pull the cable so your needle has the room to get in there and do your thing, kind of a thing. I don't know, whatever. But this is what it looks like. So if you're into this, have at it. If you're not into this, I'm not into this, so I don't do this. I use double pointed needles. But so you can see, starting to make the V's. It works. It's a thing. It's a circle. Yeah, okay. That's all I'm going to say.